Hi, my name is Bob Segan. I'm a principal in the firm of Segan, Mason & Mason, and this is a short summary for our clients and friends of new regulations that will require prompt action by community association boards in Virginia. The governor has recently approved regulations that will require all association boards to adopt procedures for resolving written complaints from owners and other citizens. And these must be adopted by all association boards by September 28, 2012. So we're urging all of our clients to give attention to this as soon as possible so that you can comfortably meet this deadline. Don't rely on your existing due process procedures or other procedures as being compliant with these new regulations. They're probably not. There are so many new requirements in these new regulations that you're pretty much going to have to start from scratch and draft a set of regulations that comply, set of procedures that comply with these new regulations. We hope this short video will give you some idea of what this is all about. By way of a quick background, in 2008 the Virginia General Assembly passed legislation with significant changes in the way the state regulated community associations. Part of the legislation created a common interest community board and a common interest community ombudsman to provide some oversight on community associations and their managers. And the 2008 law said that the CIC board was to adopt regulations which required all associations to establish reasonable procedures for the resolution of written complaints from owners and other citizens. Well, it took 4 years, but the CIC board has finally finalized these regulations and the governor has finally approved them, and they're going to become effective July 1, 2012. They'll give association boards 90 days from that date to adopt these procedures. So the deadline is September 28, 2012. Here's what the regulations require. First, you have to have written procedures for how members and citizens can initiate formal complaints with the association. You can include a complaint form that they have to fill out to initiate this formal complaint, and a description of how they must notify the association that they filed this complaint. When you receive the complaint, you have to send the complainant acknowledgement of receipt within 7 days by certified mail, hand delivery, or in some cases electronically. If you think you need more information in order to resolve the complaint or make a determination based on the complaint, you have to have reasonable methods in your procedures for how you would obtain the information. That may involve a follow-up letter to the complainant or some other reasonable method. When you have the information necessary to make a decision, then you have to notify the complainant of the date, time, and place when the decision will be made. Again, this has to be given by certified mail, hand delivery, or in some cases electronically. When the final determination on the complaint is made, usually by the board of directors, you have to send notice of the final determination to the complainant, again by certified mail, hand delivery, or in some cases electronically, within 7 days of the date the decision is made. So the process essentially involves 6 steps. The initiation of the complaint, acknowledgement of receipt of the complaint, the information gathering stage, then notice to the complainant of the time, date, and place when the complaint will be considered. Then you have to make the decision, generally by the board of directors, and then you have to give notice to the complainant of the decision, which the regulations call the final determination. The notice of final determination has to include a statement that the complainant has the right to file what's called a notice of adverse decision with the Common Interest Community Ombudsman, requesting that the Ombudsman review it to determine whether the decision violated any state laws or regulations. Okay, now if the complainant doesn't like the decision, he or she has 30 days from the date of the decision to file for review with the CIC Ombudsman. Now the Ombudsman will review the decision to see if the association has violated any state laws or regulations in its decision. The Ombudsman has assured us that her review will be based only upon whether any state laws or regulations have been violated. She's not going to review decisions involving the management of the association or interpretation of the association's governing documents, as long as there is no violation of state laws and regulations. Now, the Ombudsman's decision is advisory. It's not binding on the association. However, the Ombudsman has the right to refer serious violations to the CIC board for action, and the CIC board, if it finds a serious violation of the law, can take actions against associations. Now, there are other requirements that the association has to comply with in connection with the adoption of these procedures. First of all, the association has to keep records of each of these complaints for 1 year from the date they are filed. Also, the procedures that you adopt for resolution of written complaints has to be included as an attachment to the association's resale disclosure documents. And finally, when you adopt these procedures, you have to make them readily available to members of the association and to citizens who request them. So this is going to require some work of associations and some amount of formalization of procedures and a good deal amount of paperwork, but if you approach it in an organized fashion, you can make it somewhat manageable. Now remember, there are serious consequences if the association doesn't comply with these new regulations. The CIC board has the power to initiate lawsuits, initiate monetary penalties for associations that don't comply. We'd be happy to help you begin this process. Please contact us if you need any information. Remember, the deadline to adopt these written procedures is September 28, 2012. So thanks for tuning in.